Hello everyone, welcome to the CI 7119 RS 7119, the cloud-based GIS course. In this video, we are going to talk about the outline of this course and also the regulation of this course. First of all, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Dr. Chih-Yuan, or you can call me Alec. My background is in the civil engineering department. I graduated from the National Central University, and also my master degree was also in the National Central University as well, and studying the photogrammetry research. And in 2009, and I went to the University of Calgary in Canada to study my PhD degree. And the background or the knowledge I study over there is about the web GIS, which is also very related to the cloud GIS that we are going to introduce in this course. So my research interests are mainly in the IoT architecture and also the AI plus the IoT, or what we call the AIoT, and also the geospatial web, or what we call the GeoWeb, and also the design and implementation of the geospatial cyber infrastructure. The meaning for the cyber infrastructure basically means that you can say it's kind of like the information system, but however, this information system deal with the geospatial data. So kind of like the any types of the GIS system. So, and the other recent research interest that I have is the human-computer interaction, and especially the human-computer interaction with the IoT, the Internet of Things. And beside that, my research interests also on the photogrammetry and remote sensing topics as well. So later on, what I'm going to introduce is actually following the three steps. The first steps is the what. So basically, I'm going to talk about what the course is about, and then the second step is the why. So why do you need this course, or why should you take this course? And then the third step is about the how. So basically, I'm going to talk about how this course will execute, and also how you are going to study this course. So basically, we are going to follow the three steps to introduce it. So first of all, what this course is about. So basically, as the title of this course mentioned, is about the cloud-based GIS. So what exactly is the cloud? The cloud is not like the cloud that we see in the sky. The cloud is actually, you can say, a term from the cloud computing. So basically, that means we are moving some computation to the internet or to the web. So which means that the cloud-based GIS actually means the web GIS. So first of all, we are going to talk about the marriage between the web and also the GIS. And then secondly, we are going to talk about the WebGIS from a computing perspective. So basically, this course is quite different from other GIS courses. We are actually viewing the GIS systems from a computing system perspective, which means that we are going to talk about how exactly a GIS system was constructed and was designed, and how different design will affect the performance, or will affect the functionality. So that results in a very special part of this course. So it's quite different from other courses that you can see from you can say Department of Geography, or from the Department of Surveying. So they usually teach GIS in terms of they are in terms of those systems are tools for you to include into the same, you can say, uniformed environment to do some analysis, to do some post-processing analysis. But however, in this course, we mainly talk about the GIS from the perspective that how to design and implement a GIS system, and especially the GIS system on the web. And the third part, which is about exploring the latest and exciting and also fun topics related to the GIS development. So basically, GIS is actually a computing system, and then with the advance in the information technology field, actually there are a lot of new trends and new technology that can be applied to the GIS. So and to include those technology into GIS field, we actually have some exciting and interesting you can say concept and also new technologies. So we are going to introduce those things in this course. And finally, we are going to train your skills to realize a web-based GIS. So basically, there will be a lot of labs, and also there will be one-term project for you guys to work on. And then by doing those labs and also the term project, I believe that you are going to have some basic knowledge and basic skill to implement a web GIS system by yourself. So that is the what. And then in terms of the why you need this course. So basically, I believe every each of you I have different reason of taking this course. But however, in my personal opinion, there are some reasons that could be lead you to take this course. And so I'm going to briefly talk about them. The first reason is that there was a saying that 80% of the data in the world has a geospatial component. So it's either directly has the coordinates, like the XY coordinates or latitude and longitude coordinates, or it could be an indirect containment of the spatial attributes. For example, like street address, or it could be like a photo that contains some landmarks, or it could be just like a place name in the post on the internet. So basically, 80% of the data has a geospatial component, and those data are usually well located or queryable on the web or on the internet. So in this case, how to discover or find those data it becomes one issue, and how to utilize this vast amount of data for our own domain application. That's another challenging task. So in this course, we are going to talk about what are those data, what are those geospatial data on the web, and then how to identify them, and maybe how to retrieve them as well. So, and the other actually, you can say a side story about this saying over here is the 80% of data has a spatial component. Actually, this is not, well, this was not a very, you can say, proven statement scientifically. But however, there was, well, a research paper trying to verify this percentage over here. So that research actually tried to go through all the Wikipedia page and then see and try to identify whether each of the page has some geospatial components or not. And then according to according to that research, I believe the final outcome is about like 76 or 75 percent of the Wikipedia pages they have the geospatial components. So which is pretty close to these like statements. The 80% of data has geospatial component. So, in this case, basically, as you can see, a lot of data they have this geospatial component. So there was also one concept which is called the spatial thinking. So which means that for a lot of domains and also for a lot of applications that besides viewing or executing those applications from in the traditional way, you could also view those domains or view those applications from a geospatial domain, so that it can help you to discover more, you can say, relationships, or to discover more hidden trends. So that's the first one, or one of the first reason that I think you need this course, because the web actually has a lot of data, and 80% of them has geospatial component, and how to utilize them is one of the topic that we are going to talk about in this course. And the second reason is that the technology is evolving so fast. It doesn't matter is for example, the storage development, or other types of appliance, or other types of you can say micro electronic technologies. For example, like from the TV, or the traditional old TV, to a like flat screen, or even to now we could have the for example VR, AR, those visualization technology. So the technology is evolving so fast, and like I said earlier, GIS is a domain that is very close to the IT field. So whatever advance in the IT field actually could be applied to the GIS domain as well. So whenever there is a new technology it was introduced, actually you could also think about how to include those technology into the GIS field, and maybe there are some interesting applications. So this is the second reason, because in this course we are going to introduce some of the latest development in the GIS, specifically you can say related to some of the latest IT advances. Okay, and also this is another view in terms of the technology development. So there was a technology consultant company which is called Gartner, and then in every summer, I believe in the August, they will present one of the graph that from their you can say from their view. So that graph is called the hype cycle for the emerging technology. So as you can see here, we have the x-axis and divided into several periods, and the y-axis is the expectation. So this graph actually has this type of like trend. So at the beginning, so the expectation will grow very high into a peak, and then start decreasing to this start decreasing in terms of the expectation, and gradually it will like increase again, and then finally it's getting stable. So this trend is what they called the hype cycle for the emerging technology. So, and each of the dots over here are representing each of the emerging technology that they think is important for the coming year. So, and this graph is the graph for in the 2016. So as you can see, the Gartner company they think that the machine learning, and also the blockchains and also connected homes, those are some of the emerging technology that was attracting a lot of attention at that time. And then there were some technology that start having some small lower expectation, but however start will come to you can say that stable and stable period, saying including the VR technology and AR technology. And so the reason I want to introduce these hype cycles is to you can say demonstrate that the what I just mentioned, that many of the emerging technology actually are related to the GIS field. So, for example, like you can say autonomous vehicle, AR, VR, smart robots, connected home, and IoT platform, and UAVs, and also and also, for example, like the smart dust, which means that we can have a very low cost and cheap sensors. We can and very small sensors. We can spread it out like everywhere, and to collect any types of you can say sensor observations for us to monitor the dynamics of the Earth. So this one is the 2016, and then here is the 2017. So as you can see, AR, VR, they are also over here. And beside that, we have the deep learning, machine learning, connected home, IoT platform, smart robot, and edge computing. And also there are some other things, for example, like smart dust. So all of them, they are related to the GIS field. And UAVs are over here as well. And in 2018, actually, as you can see, AR is over here, mixed reality is over here, connected home, and also blockchain, IoT platform, and digital twin, which is actually quite a very, you can say, hot topic in recent years in the like GIS or geoinformatics domain. And also maybe like the biochip and smart robot, HAI and smart dust over here. So those are also some well important technology related to the GIS field. And this one is the 2019 like some of the emerging technology. So as you can see, some of them they are also related to the GIS fields, like the 3D sensing camera, and also autonomous driving, and also I believe, for example, like the HAI, those things they are quite important for the you can say GIS field. And finally, this is the 2020 hype cycle. So this hype cycle actually, well, also contains some of the emerging technology are also related to the GIS. For example, like the ontology and graph. So the ontology means like the knowledge. You can say is a structure of the knowledge, and how to represent a certain data or certain information according to those structure, and so that those information can be understood by the computer automatically or correctly and interpreted by the you can say by the users. So that is about the kind of like about the semantic as well. And the other thing is, for example, like the explainable AI, the XAI. So the XAI is also one of the hot topic that was predicted in the 2000 or not predicted is like mentioned in the 2020 Gartner's hype cycle. And the explainable AI could be used to discover some new knowledges from the you can say from the technology of the deep learning. And an embedded AI, which I believe is quite related to the IoT field as well, or you can say the AIoT field as well. And data fabric is, I believe, is about the you can say the cyber infrastructure of the data hub. And there are other things, for example, like the digital twin of the person. So how to you can say monitor the like bio signal of the person, and then how to capture those signals and for some analysis. And the digital twin concept is quite important, not only to the like a person object, or it could be extended to for example example, a building, a city, or even a country. So the digital twin development is attracts quite a lot of attention recently. And there are other things. I believe you can take a look at that by yourself, and then try to think about whether they are related to the GIS field or not. Okay, I believe quite a large amount of them that you can find they are related or could be applied to the GIS field. And we will briefly mention some of them, or you can say we'll try to mention a lot of related trend. So that's another reason that I believe you need this course. So the third reason is that, as you can see from the hype cycle, there are so many terms and so many buzzwords, and so whether those terms are really meaningful or not, or whether those terms are actually just for the, you can say, commercial purpose or not, we will briefly talk about that, and we will have a lot of you can say in class discussion to express our opinion in terms of those keywords. So, for example, I bring out a lot of keywords over here, and many of these core keywords will be mentioned in this course. And some of them, I believe, are familiar with to you guys. For example, big data or heterogeneity, or maybe, for example, some easy ones like cloud computing, and scalability, data science, AR, VR, and maybe some of you have heard about, for example, VGI, Volunteer Geographic Information, and LBS, Location-Based Service, and maybe some of you heard about the semantic web before, and maybe and of course IoT has been should be very familiar with everyone. And there are some other things, for example, like the edge computing, fog computing, wearable technology, digital twin. We will briefly we will basically mention and discuss many of those terms in this course. So if you are interested in knowing these terms, or in terms of the new technology development related to the you can say GIS domain or geoinformatics domain, then I think this course is also will help you to do that. Okay, the reason for is about where do you see you in 5 years. So supposedly in 5 years, most of you will graduate, and also may go to develop your own career, working in a company, or start your own company as well, or maybe continue your you can say research study. So basically, the reason for is about trying to help you guys to give you guys a chance to think about where you are going, or where you are going toward, and in the next you can say a few years. And so I believe the reason I put it over here is because many of the you can say geoinformatics students, after they graduate, they would become some of them, or you can say a large percent of them, they will become some GIS developer. They are developing some of the, for example, like the web GIS systems, and or do some data analysis. So in this case, this course actually should be able to help you to prepare you to take this type of job, or to take care of these type of tasks, because this course first introduce some new technology trends, so that you can get closer to what most of the to what the industry or the company are starting, and that's the first what possible reason. And the second possible reason is that if you finally become for example, software developer, then in this course actually have a lot of opportunity for you to provide a lot of opportunity for you to learn some programming skills. So basically, that's the fourth reason that I think when you when you try to imagine you yourself in the next 5 years, and I think this course will be helpful to you. The fifth reason is open door to a new world. So I believe the information technology field actually has a lot of, you can say, opportunity in various domains. And then, so not only studying the geoinformatics, like very strict geoinformatics field, the knowledge in the geomatics fields, by taking this course, actually we will help you guys to get closer to the information technology field, and but however not so deviate from the GIS or geoinformatics fields that we are in. So in this case, I believe by taking this course, first of all, it could broaden your view, and also it could also maybe help you to establish you can say the habit of keep tracking the new development in the IT field, and also to establish a habit of thinking how those technology can be applied in the GIS field or in the work that you are dealing with. So I believe this is the the fifth reason that could lead you to take this course. So basically, these are the five reasons I think it may be like attractive to you for this course. Okay, so the next part is about how you are going to learn this course. So in this course, we have three main parts. The first part is about the lectures. In the lectures, it actually introduced the knowledge required for designing and implementing a WebGIS system, and also we are going to explore new trends related to the WebGIS. So it's kind of like separated into half and half in terms of like how much content that I will provide in terms of the lecture. So, and the other important thing about the lecture is that we are going to use online videos to teach you guys. What you are going to do is you should take a look at you should watch the online videos for each of the weeks that the scheduled you can say progress for each of the weeks, and then we will post it on the YouTube playlist over here in this at this link. And actually in this year in the 2022 2022 actually we will renew all the videos. In this case I will post the videos one by one, and then after I finish you can say uploading the videos for the next week, I will send an announcement to you guys through the EE class, so that you know that all the videos that you should watch for this week has been uploaded, and then you should watch it before you come to the class. And then, what we are going to do during the class is actually we are going to discuss some of the discussion items that I will send it to you before the class. So what I mean is that for each of the week that we will have some scheduled progress, or you can say scheduled topics, and then according to those topics, I will select some of the discussion items or some open questions, and then those open questions and discussion items will be announced before the class, and then you need to prepare it. You need to do some search online in terms of, for example, some keywords, or you need to think about the pros and cons of a certain concept or certain architecture, and then I will ask you guys to express or to share your opinion during the class, and then so that we can discuss with each other, and then I will share my view to you guys as well. So I hope that in this type of you can say way to teach you guys, I think it could strengthen the understanding to the lecture content, and also it provide us the opportunity to explore more open questions, especially in the WebGIS field. Okay, there are a lot of exciting open questions, and then hopefully, everyone can participate in the discussion. Okay. Okay, so that's about the lecture. And then in terms of the second part, which is the hands-on labs. So a large portion of this course is about the hands-on labs. So you are going to gain the experience of developing a WebGIS system, and you are going to learn the basic skill to realize interesting applications. So we will talk about these labs later on. And the third part is about the term project. So the term project means that in the final week of this semester, each of you are going to go on stage and then present your project topic, and also how exactly did you achieve it, and do some demonstration to us, and then that will also be an important part of this course. Okay, so and the project topic could be a scientific project, could be a variable, some or fun project. So we will talk about that in the later slides. So in terms of the timetable, officially the timetable is on the Thursday and Friday, but however the basically we will have the we will have the online videos to teach you guys, and then so that we are going to have the discussion items on the Thursday, and so that's what we are going to do. And then in terms of the prepared lectures, so generally we will have like 13, at least 12 lecture units. Then the first four actually related to the WebGIS architecture and the database. So including the introduction to the WebGIS that we are going to discuss next week. And Unit 2 is about the WebGIS system architecture, which is a very important topic because in my opinion, for a beginner, as long as you can understand the system architecture, then you understand like almost like you can say 70% of the content of how a WebGIS system works. Okay, and then third part, we will talk about the foundation of the WebGIS or any GIS system, which is the database management system. And the Unit 3 is about some basic concept of it. And but however, the Unit 4 is the spatial access method. So basically, it leads to the spatial database. So the computer is you can say is a two-dimensional the computer is the one-dimensional system, so 0, 1 and 0, 1. So but however the geospatial data is spatial in terms of the dimension that it has. You have multidimensional attributes, so how to manage those multidimensional data efficiently in the computer system is a big challenge. So the spatial access method allow us to achieve that efficiently, so we will talk about that here. And then the Unit 5 to Unit 9 are about the GeoWeb. So we will talk about the geospatial web service and interoperability and standard, and web mapping, geospatial mashup, and also the mobile GIS. So the mobile GIS is, you can include the mobile GIS in the geospatial web or in the next part, which is related topics in the WebGIS. So different people can have different opinion, and right now I just put that in the geospatial web category. So basically, the geospatial web category we move further to the direction of the web GIS. So in terms of the web GIS, there are also some necessary, you can say, requirements to achieve, and also have some common format of the WebGIS system, so including the web service format or the requirement of the interoperability and how to achieve it by defining some standards. And then some applications are including, for example, the web mapping. So we will talk about how those web mapping system works and how to utilize those web mapping systems for different applications. And then we will talk about the mobile GIS in terms of the required technology and also what are the challenges and concerns that we may face when we are designing a mobile GIS system. And in terms of the Unit 10 is the VGI, the volunteered geographic information. So basically that is one of the hot topic in the previous years, and then it actually still is a hot topic recently. So we will talk about what these type of geographic information is, and then what's the advantage of this topic of this concept. And in the Unit 11, we will talk about the 3D GIS. Although we mentioned, although the term is about the 3D GIS, but however, we are not going to talk about how to use some geospatial data to reconstruct the three-dimensional model. For example, like how to use photogrammetry technology to construct the building model, how to use the LiDAR point clouds to create the building models or other types of model. Instead, in this unit, we are mainly focusing on the visualization technology that related to the more immersive or or more intuitive ways to visualize the GIS data or geographic data. And then in the Unit 12, actually is mainly is pretty related to my personal research interest, which is about the Internet of Things. So we will talk about the Internet of Things from the various perspective, and then it's quite in-depth in-depth introduction to the Internet of Things. And finally, if we have time, then we will talk about other related trends in the Unit 13. Okay, so this is the lecture units design. And in terms of the textbook and also the reference book, actually there's no required textbook, and all the slides were prepared by myself, and then they will be uploaded to the e-class. And however, there are some three main references books that in this course, and so the first one is about the WebGIS principles and application. Published by the ESRI company, and these books is actually quite easy to read, and introduce some basic concepts of the WebGIS, and also of course and also some of the applications. But of course, because it was published by the private company, so a lot of content are also are using the ESRI products as examples. So for those parts, you can read it with cautious, and also try to find other types of potential tools or products to help you to achieve the same goal. And basically, it is a very easy to read reference book, and if you are interested in knowing WebGIS from a very from a very beginner's point of view, and then this is an easy read. And the second book is the GIS, a computing perspective, and in my personal opinion, this book is kind of dry, not so easy to read. But however, it touched on the GIS from a, you can say, computing system perspective, and then it's very detailed and also very clear. It's not a very thick book, but however, the content of it is pretty rich, and so which means that if you really are going to go hardcore in learning WebGIS or in learning GIS from the computing perspective, this book is recommended. The third book is pretty specific. Is pretty specifically about the spatial database. So it will introduce how database work and also how exactly are geospatial data managed in the computer systems, and also how to use different types of spatial methods to manage those data so that they can be managed and also queried efficiently. And this book is, you can say, even drier. But however, if you are doing some like GIS development, and then you are dealing with some large amount of data, then I think the spatial database, this book is actually quite important for you, so that you can understand how those spatial data are managed in the computer system. Okay. And then the next part is important to you guys, which is about the final grade determination. And then we have the labs occupied the 40% of your final grade, and then term project will have 15% of your final grade decided by the peers according to your presentation, the final presentation, and there will be also 15% of the grades decided by me, and then I will judge the grade according to your presentation, and also the written report, the optional written report. And there will be a quiz for each of the lecture topic. So we will have the quiz at the very beginning of the course. So which means that, for example, next week we are going to discuss the unit 1, and then at the beginning of the class we will have the quiz, and that quiz is about the unit 1 content that I talk about in the in the online video. So in this case, this is one way for me to ensure that you have read those, you have watched the videos before you come to the class, and then in total it will decide 10% of your final grade. And finally, as you can imagine, the way I designed this course is to have more time for the in-class discussion. So the course participation is something I treated very seriously. So I have assigned 20% of your final grade for the course participation. So we will talk about that very quickly here. So first of all, the labs, it will decide 40% of your final grade, so it's very important. And in terms of the technologies and tools to learn and to use, you guys will learn what HTTP is, and then what the HTML is. And in terms of the programming language, in this course, we starting from the 2021, actually we changed all the programming language for the front end and back end to JavaScript. All right, so if you have some understanding to the programming language, then you should know that the JavaScript is like kind of like the most popular programming language for the front end development. So we are going to use that for the front end for sure. And but however, for the back end, although JavaScript was originally for the front end development, and then but however in the past few years, with the help of the Node.js tool, and then the JavaScript can be used to create web services. So we are also going to use JavaScript to create or develop web services as well. Okay, so that you don't need to learn too many languages in one class. And beside that, the tool that we are going to use for the data management is the database management is MySQL, MySQL. That's the other way to pronounce it. So MySQL is one of the free and open source database management system, and then we are going to use that in this course. And SQL is a language to communicate with the DBMS, the database management system. So that's also something you are going to learn during the lecture as well. And then in terms of the data format, you guys are going to use JSON and also XML. So these two formats are both a certain format for representing some data information in the like human readable format. But there are some differences between them, and we will discuss that in the class. And finally, we are going to also use the leaflet as the web mapping system. So there are a lot of web mapping systems available online, including, for example, like the Google Maps, Bing Maps, and also SRA ArcMap as well. But however, I kind of like intentionally to choose some free and also open source tools, so that kind of intentionally select that. And for the open source and free web mapping systems, there are two popular choices. One is the open layers, and the other one is leaflet. And in this course, I choose the leaflet. Okay. And in terms of the lab, the introduction video will be provided via the YouTube playlist. And please pay attention that this is a different playlist, so the URL is different from the lecture videos. And the version of this is the 2021 and 2022. So which means that right now there are already some labs assigned on the YouTube playlist, and to be specific, the 6 videos or 6 labs has been assigned, and then we will have more videos or more labs coming, and then I will create that in this year. So, but the introduction video has been will be provided via the YouTube, and but however, searching for tools, tutorial or codes is a necessary skill for software engineer. So I will not provide step-by-step guidance if I think you can find it online or figure it out by yourself. So that means I would just first of all I will just give you the introduction about the requirements that you need to achieve for those labs, and then you are going to try your best to finish it and submit it on time. And then, but however, after each of the submission deadline, each of the lab submission deadline, I will post an explanation video to share a way to achieve the labs. So this way actually is just one way to achieve it. So if you are familiar with the programming, then you should know that to achieve a certain requirement, it doesn't really need to be only having the one solution. There could be multiple solutions to achieve the same requirements. So this is just for the explanation video, only share one way to achieve that. You could have your own way to achieve it as long as it achieves the requirements. So please pay attention to this part. So the reason I I design it like this is kind of like simulating the you can say the procedure that you are going to have after you graduate and working as a software engineer. So for example, after you graduate and then you may work in the company, and your you can say supervisor or your boss may give you a requirement or some requirements, and then they supposedly should give you a clear requirement, and then based on those requirements, then you can design your system implementation and then try to achieve those requirements. Okay, so we are trying to simulate these type of this type of environment. Okay, for each of the lab, you will have 1 week to finish the assignment, and then right now there are 6 labs has been assigned to you on the YouTube, and also the lab sheet has been uploaded to the class as well, and so you can work on those labs as soon as possible, because some of the labs are difficult, to be honest. Some of the labs are not easy, so for the beginner, you may need take more than 1 week to finish it. But however, right now there has been 6 labs over there, so you can start working on it. So and then after you finish the labs, the assignments, then you are going to upload your source codes and also your maybe also your report to the class. And then fail to submit your assignment on time will lead to a deduction on your grade. So in terms of the marking rules, so basically I'm going to evenly distribute it, those percentage of the grades. And for example, if we have 10 assignments in all the three labs, and then each of the assignment will decide 4% of your final grade. So basically, what I'm going to do is, for each of the assignments, the total score is 10 points, and then those 10 points will be equally distributed to each of the assignment requirement items. And so that means if you have 5 requirements, if you receive 5 requirements in one assignment, then each of the requirement will occupy 2 points. So if only a partial of the requirements are achieved, then I will decide your grade based on the percentage of work that you finished. So, and that is according to my you can say my judgment. So, and then here is about you can say the percentage of the one of the example of the percentage. So basically, that shows at the bottom, that's all the, if you have all the labs over here, and then it occupies the 40%, and then you have these labs, these many labs, and in total you have 10 assignments. Then that means each of the assignment occupied 4% of the final grade. And if each of the assignments has 5 requirements, and that means each of the requirements occupied 0.8% of your final grade. Okay, so and then there is the late submission penalty. So if you fail to submit your assignment on time, then you will receive a deduction on your grade. And I slightly adjust the punishment this year, and so that it's not so critical, or it's not so well, it's not a very large penalty, you can say. So for example, if you submit your assignment on time, then of course you can get the 100% of the grade. And then if you submit 1 week after the deadline, within 1 week after the deadline, then the grade that you receive will be multiplied by 90%. And if it's between 1 week to 2 weeks after the deadline, then it will be multiplied 85%, and then 2 to 3 weeks, that is the 80%, and after 3 weeks is 75%. So as you can see, that means that even if you didn't really you couldn't really submit the labs on time, and you may need more time to finish it, or you don't know how to work on it, then in this case you could that one of the thing is you could submit it a little bit late, but however, the reason I designed like this is to is that I hope each of you will really spend your own time to work on the labs, because based on my understanding from the students who have taken this course and then go out to take some to go out working, based on my understanding is that they think these labs are really helpful for their work after they graduate. Hopefully, these late penalty will encourage you to work on the labs by yourself instead of like copy other people's work directly, because in that case you won't learn anything. Okay. So these are the topic of the labs. It includes like 10 labs over here, and then I kind of like categorize them into different categories, different types. This part, the lab 1 to lab 3, they are the and also the lab 5, they are basically related to the web client. So including the basic of the web pages, the HTML basics, and so how to create a web page, for example. And the lab 2 and lab 3 will give you, will ask you guys to work on the JavaScript. And it's a JavaScript basic 1 and JavaScript basic 2. So hopefully by doing these two labs, you guys will have more understanding to how to program the JavaScript. Okay. And then the fourth lab is about the web map. So the web map basically means that how you are going to create a web page and then embed a web mapping system inside the web page, and then how to add some data on the map. And Lab 5 is an important technology which is called Ajax. So basically, it allows the web mapping clients, the web client, to dynamically send some web requests to the service, and then to retrieve new data, or to communicate, basically to do some dynamic synchronized communication between the web client and web service, so that you can achieve more dynamic application in this case. So it is a very important technology. We will have more introduction to this when you are taking a look in the Lab 5 introduction video. And the Lab 6 is about the map mashup. So basically it means that how you are going to put more data or different types of data on the map. And that was embedded in the web page. And the Lab 7 is about the database management system. That's quite important. So you are going to write some SQL code, SQL queries to retrieve the data that according to the requirements. And Lab 8 and Lab 9 is about the web service. So how to create web service by using the JavaScript and also the Node.js. So the Lab 8 is the web service basic, and Lab 9 is how to connect the service, web service, and the database. Usually, the database is serving as a location to store those data that you want to serve online, and so that's this web service and the database needs to be linked together, so that you can achieve a more easy management of the data. And finally, the Lab 10 is about the IoT, the Internet of Things monitoring application. So in this lab, we are going to, where you guys are going to use some microcontrollers and some sensors, and then to like link them together and becomes one monitoring sensor, monitoring IoT device. And then by utilizing the knowledge that you have learned from the previous labs, then you are going to create a certain easy application. Okay, those are the lab contents. And in terms of the term project, it occupies 30% of your final grade, and each of you must work on a term project in this course, and then there will be 2 presentations that you need to give. For the first one is the project proposal presentation, and each of you will have 15 minutes to talk about it, and the time will be on the April 14th. And basically, you need to clearly explain the what, why, and how. So, because it's a proposal presentation, so it means that you don't need to like present the final system yet. But however, you need to talk about what is the topic, what is the project that you are going to work on, and why do you want to do this project? Why do you want to do this topic? And then how you are, what's the design of this topic? How you are going to create it? What's the system architecture? What are the data that you are going to use? Where are the data you are going to get? And then what are the functionality that you want to achieve, and what are the tools that you are going to use? So this is about the project proposal presentation. The second presentation is about the project presentation, the final project presentation, and also the demo. So it will be on the final week, so it will be the June 16th. And then each project will be marked by peers, by the classmates, for the 15% of your final grade, and by me, also the other half, the other 15% of your final grade from the term project. So there will be a final project report, but however, it's optional. So if you want to submit a final project report, you can submit it by the June 17th. And the objective of having this optional final report is to give you a chance to further explain your project, including maybe the what, why, and how, the tools, architecture, algorithms, and some outcomes, and also maybe the future work. So the reason of having that is because if you only have 15% to present whatever you have done in your term project, and that may not be enough, and maybe due to some unavoidable circumstances that your project is not completed successfully, then in this case, what you can do is you can lay out, you can explain those, you can say, those efforts that you have done, you have done for your term project, and you can let me know through this final project report. So I will take that, take those efforts into account when I decide my part of the grade. Okay, but this final project report, because not everyone will choose a scientific project, so there's no required template, no page requirements, and you can write it in Chinese or English, both fine with me. And in terms of the term project topic selection, here are some guidelines. So basically, the project, I'm very, you can say, flexible in terms of the project topic, as long as it has two components. It has the web component and it has the geospatial component. As long as it has these two components, then I think it's a suitable project topic. And of course, yeah, so that's in general. In general, you need to have the web and also geo components. And it would be great if your project can be extended into a conference paper or an ACI's webcom competition project. Okay. So the project topic selection, it could be the fun, it could be the research-oriented project. So each of you should be working on some research topic, and then you can try to think about whether your research topic can have some linkage with the WebGIS, and then if that can be linked, then hopefully that can also help you to enrich your own research. And this is the first like you can say kind of like guideline. And then the second possibility is the fun oriented project. So you can try to select a fun and juicy project topic, and then you can use your imagination to think about that. And there are some potential topic directions for you to start thinking. The first type is about the map mashup application. So the idea of the map mashup means that you can create a web map, but however the data that's showing on this map is from another place on the internet or on the web. So find the available data online and then try to visualize them with the online web mapping system. And there are a lot of open data online in the file format or in the web service format. Then you can decide what kind of topic that you want to do. For example, there was course project from in the national the Zhengzhi University, the NCCU, is what they called it is the death map. So basically, they try to collect some healthcare data, and it's open data online, and then they like kind of prepare the data and show a visualization tool online, and they use the map to show it. For example, they collect the top 10, you can say, disease for each of the year, and then by changing different years, then the color of the map will be changed as well, in terms of how many deaths in each of the city or each of the province. And then and after you click on a certain, for example, city, and then in this case, they can also show a time series chart of those like death numbers. And so basically that's what they did, and then it is a pretty like good visualization of this type of data. So you guys can watch this YouTube video to get some idea for the map mashup applications. Because based on the experience, most of the students are finally choosing the map mashup applications, and this is a common you can say structure of those map mashup applications. And the other one is the VGI application. So basically, VGI means that there are some volunteers trying to create the geospatial information. And so that means you could work on a web application that allows users to create or edit information with the geospatial location. And then you could also use the web mapping framework to show the information. Okay. And then the other possible topic selection is the LBS tagging application. For example, if you want, you can write a smartphone app, and then that allows users to tag things. For example, take a picture of flowers, animals, or some garbages, and then upload it to the server, and the server will have a web mapping system to show those tags. For example, you can try to think about what this procedure can help you to achieve. One of the possible topic could be, for example, there are some garbage on the street, and then you can take a photo and then upload it to the map, and then that map is used by, for example, some of the I don't know, the government agencies, or some people in charge of the cleaning, collecting the garbage, and then they can go there and do the clean it up. So this is one of the possible application, and the other possible application, topic is by doing some Internet of Things application. You can borrow the microcontrollers, sensors, actuators from me, and then try to build an IoT applications by yourself as well. And games. There were some students they work on games in this course as well. And so basically, you can use Google Street Map and then show some place names for users to select. And then, for example, you can show some famous landmarks, and then some multi-choice questions for users to select and to count the scores. And then finally, you have you can also have a timer so that the more like questions they ask they answered correctly in this short time, then they will be ranked higher in the on the board. And that's maybe one of the possible direction. And then MMORPG map games is also one of the possible topic, and AR VR games are also potential topics as well. To serve as some examples, in the first year, the very first year that I create this course in 2015, for example, Chih-Yuan, she created the NCU life map. So basically, because she was not studying in NCU for her undergrad degree, so that when she first came to NCU, she doesn't know where to do anything. Where's the convenient store? Where's the ATM? Where are the restaurants? So that leads her to create a NCU life map. So basically, it was a map, and then the users can click on the map to create some POI, the place of interest. And then, for example, I can click on the map and then say, okay, this is I can put down this is a 7-Eleven, and this is a certain restaurant, and then I can leave some description over there, and also I can leave some rating, 5 stars or 1 stars, and leave some comments on the web mapping platform. And those information will be transmitted to the service and then stored in the database. And when other user like go to the same website, and then they can see what other people say to each of those point of interest, and then and they can also leave their comments, and they can also give it ratings, so that it's a, you can say, collective intelligence. Okay, so and that's what she did, and then and it's pretty complete. It includes the web mapping system, it includes the web service, and includes the database. And the Hong Zixuan also works on another map mashup application. So she did the Taipei travel site. So what she did is she creates a map, and also and every time when the user open this map, the clients will dynamically go to the travel agency in the Taipei from the Taipei city. There are some open data for for the travel sites, and then the client will retrieve those information and parse the information and show it on the showing on the maps by different layers. And then the users can like show and hide different layers, and then they can also click on each of the travel site to see the name of that site, the description, and also some photos of that travel site. So it's also a pretty good example, and because it actually dynamically retrieve using the Ajax technology to retrieve some open data, and then displayed it in her own work. Okay, and Junbing, the work that he did is related to his research. His research is about the monitoring the rice growing in the Taiwan by different county. So what he did is he collects some of the rice some rice production by different county, and then he creates a map, and so that when user click on different like county, then there will be a time series chart to indicate the production of the rice by different season. Okay, so and it's an easy work. It's not using very fancy technology, for example, like the Ajax or using the database, or even the service. So in terms of, you can say, system architecture itself, is not so it's not entirely a very complicated system or a challenging the challenging task either. But however, well, it actually quite complete and quite uh, well, you can say quite a complete project or application for his own purpose. Okay, and then Chen Jingxian, he works on the some using some open source hardwares, for example Arduino and some sensors to do some environment monitoring. For example, he creates some IoT devices and put it on the, you can say, the farmlands, and then try to monitor the soil moisture and also the temperatures, and those information will be transmitted back to the service and then displayed it on the map. So it's also quite a very complete IoT application. Okay, so the other thing is that, as you can see here, Xumanhan is the crowd favorite of that year. So every year we will select, everyone has one vote, and then at the end we can have the crowd favorite of that year. And if you are the crowd favorite, and then you will receive some small gift from me. So that's also something, well, important and fun. Okay, and this is another term project example that's from me in 2010. At that time, I did University of Calgary Battle Royale. So basically, it's kind of like first person like MMORPG game. So every user actually is every player. They can go to this website, and then they can log in and then create an avatar, and then their avatar, when you click on the map, and then your avatar can move to different places, and then to do some search for to search some resources like weapon, suits, or some supplies, and they may also find other enemies. And then after when they find other enemies, and then they can attack each other, and then and to get some more, you can say, experience. And then after they have enough experience, they can level up and to become stronger. And they can also like steal something from other people, and they can build a tent and then sleep over there to regain their HP and also energy. So basically that's was well, that was again that I created an RPG game for on the web map. This is another potential, well, topic that was like implemented before. Okay. Okay, so in terms of the twin project proposal, even after what I just mentioned, you still don't have any idea, then that's fine. You can try to discuss with me if you are not sure what your topic should be, or whether it's appropriate or not. And but still, we still have some time, so you can start thinking about your project topic. Okay, and in terms of the quiz, the time of the quiz, like I said earlier, is at the beginning of every lecture class. So please be on time, and it will be just a short quiz. So if you are late, then you don't have enough time. You may not have enough time to finish it. So, and then in terms of the scope, it's mainly the lecture content, mainly the lecture content. Sometime or very seldom, I will have some like lab content in the quiz. Okay, but however, most of the like questions are from the lecture content of that week. Okay. And course participation. So what I expect from each of you is that before every lecture class, you should watch the corresponding online videos and prepare the quiz, and also prepare questions, answers related to the content. Okay, and then during the class, you should contribute to the discussion and ask good questions and give good answers to questions. So those everything will be counted into the course participation over here. And also maybe I didn't like write it very like very clearly over here, but however for every lecture class we will have some discussion items send it to you before the class, and then what you should do is to prepare those discussion items. You need to understand, you need to try to search online to understand what those discussion items are, and then what's your opinion on those items, and try to prepare those things. Okay. And finally, the email guideline. So when you send me an email to make an appointment or ask questions, this is my email over here. And then please start your subject line with the 7 CI 7119. Okay, please start with this so that you are asking questions. You are a student in this course, and you are asking questions regarding this course. Okay. Okay, then that will be it for the introduction of this course. So please let me know if you have any question, and if you are interested, then I will see you guys next week.